from that stage of working 9 to 5 to going on to become real investors?
There is one disease that is embedded within people who live in the UK, and this disease is called cold feet.
Unlock your life, move on to the next level.
The more you stay in the UK or in Europe, the more you are going to become poor.
Let's begin disabusing our people in London and other parts of the world. Get what has happened here. Because today you are making history.
Ugandans have sort of disconnected themselves from...
Uganda is one of the countries that you are not going to expect a war in the next 10 to 20, 50 years.
The diaspora community need to get to a level where we can have a media line. Ladies and gentlemen, our dear viewers, welcome once again to our second edition of the Master Key. I must say thank you very much for the previous energy and the feedback we had from our previous show. And we are really, really humbled and honored. With me in the studios today is Madame Charity Bisagavu. Madame, could you please say hello to our viewers?
Yeah, hello viewers. Thank you very much, Mr. Musoke, for inviting me today. I really feel honored.
Thank you. Our viewers, you know, I've been chasing up this lady because I've heard about you for quite some time. And I was wondering, who is this Charity around town, and I haven't had the opportunity to meet you. But I must say, when I met you, I was glad that I actually met you, and all the insights that you've got, I said we should get them to our people today. So to have you in the studios is a very wonderful thing. So to start with, what is it that one needs to know about charity? When they say charity, what does charity stand for? Who is charity?
Wow, I am blushing after all that. I am just a normal person. The only thing is I've got passion, and I'm very hardworking, and I like working with people.
Good.
So I'm always on the people's side, and I will always do the best. Probably that's why I come up everywhere
that you go.
I go.
Okay.
Yes.
Just to bring our viewers to speed, it's important that I mention to them that recently you joined the executive team of Uganda Diaspora Patriotic Assembly as the second vice chairperson in charge of investments.
Yes.
The chairman, of course, I'm the chairman. I was very honored, and I was telling our members that we are bringing somebody very, very special with unique talents to the team. So what is it? I know, of course, you are German trained and a lot. How do you hope to really bond with the team and get the best out of the team for the sake of Ugandans who are out here in the diaspora, madam?
Yes. I have been in this country for about 13 years now.
Good.
I've been living here, and my aim, number one aim, is to improve people and to improve my country. I have been looking around for an organization to work with. I work with different organizations. I've been, for the last 3 years, I've been a secretary. I've been working with Banyakigezi community on board, and I've done so many other, I'm on different other boards of organizations and charity organizations, and I do a lot of mobilizing and other things, and encouraging people, trainings. I do presentations, different business ideas. I bring investors to Uganda. I've taken a few investors to Uganda. I've referred investors to Uganda to our High Commission also. I work hand in hand with the High Commission, and yeah, so for me, it's all about improvement of mankind, improvement of my country especially, and my people. So I'm so excited, and I'm so proud to be on board of Uganda Diaspora Patriotic Assembly.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You know, our community here, they are sort of struggling and seem to be locked in a way that the only thing they seem to understand is going to work morning to evening, which is very good. But at what stage do we graduate from that to say Ugandans can actually become investors, both here and in Uganda? What do you think is really holding them, and what do you think we need to do to really lift them from that stage of just having to work, but go on to also become job creators, and in that way they can benefit better? Because after all, they've got so much experience
Yes.
during their stay over here.
Because most people who come here, most of our people who come here, they come here through different routes, different ways. They are here for different reasons. And also, we need to encourage them. They are not encouraged. They are not sure what they are supposed to be doing. Some of them are misled. They think they cannot do anything back home. There is no support. Most of them think the government doesn't support them, is against them, but actually the truth is everything is open for everybody. Anybody can do anything from home. So what we have here, what we need to be doing is to reach out to these people, show them what opportunities are back home, and how we can access them, how they can access them, and how we can support them. I can add into that also, of course, when we are in the diaspora, in developed countries, we get exposed, we get exposure, we are more educated, the system is faster. So these are the things we need to be taking back. These are the things we need to show to encourage these people to take back home.
Okay, looking on, Madam, many organizations have been trying over here, and they've been saying, let's come together, let's try to invest. But the thing is, people fail to work together. What do you think is really causing that, and how do you think you can sort of get past that to make sure that really investments from within the Ugandan community actually take root and go on to progress?
Yeah, I have worked for quite a number of them. Definitely, some of them fail because they are into personal interests. They are looking at personal interests, but not the general interest of the people and the outcome. So in between, they cannot sustain, so they end up failing. But what we've got here, what we have to make different is we have to approach it encouragement and have proper leadership.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. So you hope then that you'll be leading from the front, because as you know, people get their monies together, try to send money home, and when it gets there, sometimes it finds hands who don't even care before the money is actually invested. People end up chewing the money before it actually goes in for the actual program. So how do you really hope to protect your organization from that, such that it doesn't end up failing like so many others have failed?
Exactly. On that one, I'll tell you something. I have very, very interesting answer to that. Of course, a few years ago, we could only send money through different forex bureaus back home, and now you can send your money direct from here, open up a bank account, control your bank account online banking. You monitor everything. For example, if you had to pay school fees for a child back home, you would you've got money on the account, you monitor it here, and you advise your bank manager to pay. You can even pay directly to the school. You don't have third parties in between who will use your money for other things.
Are you saying, therefore, that the money for the projects will go direct to Uganda, be monitored online, and whatever happens and whatever transactions they do, you'll be able to monitor from here? Is that possible now?
It is possible now, yes.
Could you please tell our viewers how it works? Because
Yes.
I'm fascinated to know.
Yes, very recently, on the last convention of in September here in the UK, I came from Uganda the night before the convention.
Okay.
And I had been speaking with one of our Uganda banks, that is Postbank.
Yeah.
And actually I represented Postbank at the convention. They are offering internet banking.
Okay.
At the moment, It is the only bank in Uganda that does internet banking from the diaspora.
So hopefully then you hope to liaise with a post bank such that
Definitely.
transactions made in Uganda of monies sent from here will be monitored and safeguarded.
I am encouraging all the Ugandans, even non-Ugandans who want to do businesses in Uganda, to do that. Yes, to go through that route. Yes.
Okay, thanks very much. So that keeps the money. What about the actual team on the ground? Do you intend to have a team on the ground to monitor these investments as they take off and to make sure they progress bit by bit?
Definitely. As far as I can understand, I'm new on board, but I understand we've got a team on board, on the ground, who have been here. So definitely, yes, we have a strong team on the ground to control that, to look after that bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, deviating a bit, because I know you are vast, you've read quite widely, and personally, that's one of the reasons I see a lot in you, and that's why I feel the country has got a lot to benefit from you. You tell me you've attended the Success University, um, governed by Les Brown. You've read Anthony Robbins, you've read Brian Tracy, and a lot, and of course, you've read about our leaders and stuff. How do you think that knowledge is going to help our people to transfer whatever savings they've got here and to articulate their strategies such that surely they move on from this little money they are making to really making the big monies? I would want to see more of our members becoming the next Muranas for sure.
Yes. What personal development studying does is it gives you confidence, it gives you open mind, and it gives you leadership skills, responsibility, approaching life from a different angle. So what it will do is I intend to open up to people, clearly show them that you can do this. You have to be able to be confident, be sure of yourself, be confident that you're able to do that, what you need to do. And of course, investments, they are all open. The government has opened up. Our High Commission in the UK, in London, they are all helpful. They're ready to help all different projects. There are different projects. Myself, I've got different projects. I'm holding different projects, about 500.
Could you give us an example so people know? Because we keep saying projects. At
Yes.
least identify that we projects in A, B, C, D, and then
Yes, we've got. I will take the easiest, small,
Yes.
depending on whatever money you've got. We've got tourism. Tourism is wide. Tourism is not about going into national parks looking at animals and birds as we always hear it, as we always have it. But we have also cultural activities, dancing. We've got our own food. Uganda is so big. We are different. We have different cultures, and we behave differently. We can sell that. That is a bit I'm looking at already. I'm working with an organization on that, and yeah, we've got so much to offer. We've got a lot to offer, more than national parks and all that. Of course, national parks and all the animals will never leave. It's part of us. But tourism is a wide vision in Uganda. And also farming. Farming, there is a lot to offer. Projects I'm looking at, poultry. You can start off a poultry farm. Simply, it shows you how much you need to be putting in, how much you need to do, how much you would get in 6 months' time, 1 year's time. So it's projected. So it's all done. So this one, we shall have to find a special time for that only, specifically for that. And I will definitely, again, we have to meet it specifically. And then I introduced how you can get to me, how we can get, we arrange workshops for that, so that everyone can see what they can pick out. It is affordable. Anybody can afford it. And why should we offer other people before we offer our own? It is our country. We need to improve it.
Yeah, I was about to go to something else, but now you're talking about being our country. How much, on a personal note, do you value the stability in Uganda at the moment? And
For
what would you have
me,
to say to the Ugandan community
I
over here?
will. I will jump to that. I'll jump to that. For me, as far as I'm concerned, we have moved a lot. We've moved forward, and at the moment, what we sell, we are selling in Uganda. I myself, I sell the peace we have in Uganda. Now, if a country is peaceful, growth is there. Everything is possible. Anybody can move around freely. You can plan your businesses, they will run successfully. And anything you do, you need peace at the back. So I will guarantee that myself. I'm one of those, I monitor that
Thank you.
on a large scale,
Thank
and
you.
there is peace. Yes.
Thank you. Now, I always do. I know people, you've got values in your heart and your mind, of course, working together. In a few uninterrupted minutes, what would be your message to the Ugandan community? If you just had one moment for every Ugandan to be listening to you, what are the few things you'd want to say to them in at least 3 uninterrupted minutes?
Yes, my country, Uganda. All Ugandans, what I would be saying to you is you need to concentrate, you need to focus, you need to be thinking, even if you're improving yourself, but what is tomorrow? You need to be thinking about tomorrow. What happens if anything happened, God forbid, if anything happened here, where will you go? Where are we heading to? What would you want to see? What would you want to see your country be tomorrow? Every Ugandan should be thinking about that.
Thank you very much. So, our dear viewers, you've heard our guest for the day, Madam Charity. I've spent a long time chasing her up. And like I promised you, whoever I found valuable, I'll get here in the studios for you. And before I go, warm regards from His Excellency the President, who I had a chance to meet when I was in Uganda. And as for the program, Madam Charity, welcome once again to
Thank
Uganda
you
Diaspora
very much.
Patriotic
Thank you
Assembly.
very much.
And
I
for our dear
appreciate it.
viewers, hand in hand still, we look forward to making the power of Africa the greatest in Africa and the recognized power in Africa. So thank you very much, and I look forward to communicating with you all the time. For now, I remain your host, Yusuf Musoke, saying hello.
Hello. Thank you very much for hosting me today. Thank you.
Our dear viewers, thanks very much for listening, and I must say thank you very much to Madame Charity for accepting and visiting our studios. We've learned a lot, and we look forward to learning much more from you as we move forward, and for accepting to be a part of the Uganda Diaspora Patriotic Assembly. As for our viewers, the struggle continues. Like I said earlier on, we were recently in Uganda, where we managed to see His Excellency, the President of Uganda. He indeed saluted us, and we saluted back, saying, well done for his efforts in developing Uganda. But this is our moment, like President Obama said, that we need to move forward. We need to make our own unique contribution. We in the diaspora, this is our turn. We cannot hesitate. We cannot pretend. We need to stand up and be counted for what we believe in and what we are going to deliver.
Ladies and gentlemen, to be home, and I'm ready to partner with you for writing the history books of this country to become a wealthy nation, a happy nation, a proud nation of what we are. Thanks very much. And at this moment, therefore, ladies and gentlemen, without wasting more time, I would like to invite our dear friend from the President's office, Lieutenant Colonel Henry Masiko, in his capacity with our message from our dear President and all the government and the minister, with the love and affection of Honorable Chibula, His Excellency the President, and in his own capacity as the Commissioner of Patriotism in President's office. Colonel.
But indeed, some of us feel happy when we start seeing the new generation taking on the mantle of sacrificing for the country. He has told you, I am here wearing a hue for understandable reasons are not able. However, I am carrying their passionate message. The President had got information of this gathering here, At the last moment, he was assigned where he could not delegate. So the baton fell on me. However, as you've heard from Mukata Yusuf, he's a membership of this patriotic assembly somewhere in Mukono. But he indicated that he wants to meet a bigger group, those who will still be here in January. And I was being told to confirm that appointment. This is for those UK people. So, Honorable Chibule, when he was giving me the baton, said, please confirm the appointment for January for members of this assembly. He wants to meet you and have more hard talk on the role of the diaspora in transforming nations. Honorable Chibule himself read his speech, but he was very fast. He read his speech to me, but the three key things I got, he said I should encourage you that you've chosen the right strategic path, especially the people that the decision to think of home is a noble decision. And always people, when they go beyond home, they bring home things. So it is he says it is very noble that you've decided that as you live for better opportunities and competing opportunities abroad, thinking about home is not only a tradition of Africa. When people go, they bring certain goodies home. So he's encouraging you, and he's in solidarity with whatever you are planning. The other point that he indicated, I emphasized, is the situation home now. Safe. Uganda is secure. And this is not Worokoso. I agree entirely with the Honorable Minister. Whoever thinks is going to shake the safety of Uganda is in a big dreamland. Amatongo kiri mu Luganda, because the time for playing around with Uganda is long gone. So you tell our friends that we should actually be putting things here, because actually Uganda is ranked among the safest places now on the globe. That was another point. And since you are recording, you ask for the recording, he wants to hear it. Not only for today, but take it to those who are not here. The other last big point is an appeal to you to tell our Ugandans, I think the bulk of people who are here, having seen the register, are Banafia, Babera Wanu, that you convince our Ugandans to know that the future is not in these many shining academic papers of bachelor of this, bachelor of that, bachelor of this. The future is in vocational skills, productive skills, skills for producing things which create wealth. says, please tell these people, convince these people, bring in all these big countries, people are not running for degrees and degrees. They go to study, acquire skills for productivity and immediate feeding in the transformation of their society. So, I hope I have clearly copied well what he read to me. The time you'll be here, I don't know where the colleagues of Yusuf are. I know Mayor is there. But since you are listening, all others are listening. Please, wherever the little time is spent here, one of the things you should, according to the Honorable, and I agree with him, let's begin disabusing our people in London and other parts of the world. Get what has happened here. Because today we are making history. That you have Ugandans abroad who are saying we are abroad but our hearts are back home. This is history. So what am I saying? Having delivered the President's message and Honorable Chibule's message, I'm saying that it is gratifying that we are witnessing a new culture in diaspora of people who now have a spirit for hope. This definitely is indicative of the fundamental shift in the country's situation, where Uganda is no longer the net provider of fugitives who are running away from persecution, but rather voluntary immigrants. But to see today proud people saying we are out there, but we are thinking of hope, is indeed a milestone in the faith. And in my own observation, like the minister observed, Uganda is one of the safest places now globally, and therefore potentially competitive and conducive for all those who are able to uncover the abundant opportunities for investment. Uganda, Kula, and now that it is safe, you know, people don't know that in the history of this place called Uganda, before we were Africans here, but the name Uganda is recent, it's not more than 100 years. And when all parts of this territory is at peace. In the colonial times, there were areas they could never go to. First of all, we fought them. We were fighting them here. They were not peaceful. We were observatory. If you ask your churches, here in Uganda, 46, 47, our ancestors died. Mass graves are here. So during colonial times, Uganda was stable. Karamoja was refused them, and they decided to do what they did there. So the only time Uganda is peaceful from corner to corner is since 2006 under this establishment. All parts of Uganda have the touch of Uganda security, including Karamoja. There is a hill in Karamoja which government had never reached. It's this government which has reached and brought those people with guns and told them, now you are under police. You can no longer just go out and steal as if there is no government. So this is the best time this country has ever had, and we think it's time we should use. The theme of this conference being inspiring a generation of investors is very appropriate. Omulamwa gwe mwalonze mukulu nnyo. kubanga ekigambo investment is what has made all nations. But the nature of investment is what is very interesting. And in my small thesis today is that all nations which have succeeded use internal capacity, but most important, the catalyst to succeeding is external influence. If they add and those countries succeed. So I am saying, let it be known that most modern transformation, be it transformation in agriculture, be it Europe, where you are, Europe has had the longest history of such foreign influence. But peacefully also Europe stored knowledge. They didn't now go to fight, but they went and bought a magazine. And what is very amazing, agamuba agajawa mu Africa. Those who have read history, we were the first people to have civilization as Africans. So the Bazungu stole certain things from Egypt, from Ethiopia, Amagesi, Nebagatwana, and they used it and they went ahead of us. Now akumukanoti in mwabale bwe. Baba Yuli, namwe kati bwe. Americans have been transformed largely by immigrants who, after taking America, came here, stole Africans, and they built America. Eventually, the African slave labor helped America to industrialize, gain independence, and become a superpower up to today. Even today, United States thrives on immigrant expertise. We bategeera tulina amagezi bakuba. Simanyi omulama wengu mukulaba. Ensi enyingi tezikozesa ebyomunda byokka. Up to date, United States is driving on any expertise from wherever it gets. They don't mind. If you're a Chinese, when you go to China, you meet some Chinese who are proud to be Americans. You say, I am an American Chinese. I am an American Chinese. Very proud and very patriotic. It's patriotic both to America, but Asians are very clever. As I will show you briefly. They also go back home. But America demonstrates the power of getting from out. Asia, kati Asia ni Twitter, ukole wa transformation. See Katengaga is China. That's where there is a real vibrant transformation now. They didn't do it purely from internal means, but through strategic positioning as competitive investment destinations due to their competence in terms of appropriate skilled manpower. This is where now above everyone. These people that come here and bring money, if they don't find people with appropriate skills, we shall not get this money. We shall be there crying over unemployment, and yet jobs are there. What is lacking is that we don't know how to do the jobs. Not that the jobs are not there. In Uganda, we hear when I hear politicians say, no job. You cannot say there are no jobs with all these problems in the country. Abatalimo, they are how can you say you have no jobs when everything is undone? The only lacking thing is that there is no expertise in doing those undone things. Chekitalina gukora emirimo mingi ey'okukola kubanga ebizibu tetunabikola. A lot of things need to be done in Africa, in Uganda. And you find many people sitting without work. Yet, work is there. This is what is very interesting. But the way twins of Sanga are crowds those streets. People, many, you go to Mukono town, many people you don't have way. Traffic jam of human beings. You see as people say, you will never find human jam. So specific hours when people are going to work. But for us, every time it's jam of human beings. Meaning, people are not working. Additionally, this now, Mayor Kanu used to also get it from that. Additionally, these agents have a long tradition of frugality and the saving culture. They built, because of this, they built a critical mass of investable funds which they were able to plow back into their economies, and hence the transformation you see there today. So, story, this last one, but also this, besides when we are there, as Yusuf pointed out here, lifestyles. Not think when you are in Unjereza. Think of home. If you are to eat 2 pieces of chicken, say, let me eat a quarter. 1 and 3/4 till come in Uganda. This is what has made Asia the culture of frugality and saving. We Africans are not very amused about it. We are really chakara. We are chakaze. Kansule ku diaspora chakaze. Tebugenze yo nayo. Chakara. When you hear people talk of Friday, Tuesday, then 3 days of Friday night, Saturday night, then chocolate around. That's what is making us not move. All the success stories have followed this pattern. Getting outside influence, patriotism, going out to get what is good for their countries. So what do we learn as Africans? Definitely, it may not be possible for us to use the ancient crude means of plundering and forceful colonization. Unfortunately for us, tebijja kusoboka, tetujja kupa, tetujja kufuna matwale wetu. Even if we wanted, we are not entirely competent. Whatever our young people who are trying to go in big mass should just spray them like they are spraying mosquitoes. They are dying in Red Sea, Mediterranean Sea. If we want it, we can't go there by force. There was a Chomchal. We cannot do like the Basum did. However, we can, as Ugandans, as Africans, create a conducive environment to attract direct foreign investors. How? By ensuring we have cities. We must take them to a no, just take over factories, now, of course, they will come. And of course, developing our infrastructure, which we are doing, and so on. But this will take a long time. In the short run, therefore, you should listen to this one. In the short run, therefore, the diaspora patriotism strategy is very timely. Let the patriotic diaspora Ugandans adopt a tradition of strategic sourcing of investable funds and resources by adopting the culture of frugal living, of frugality, and saving. With the savings, the patriotic spirit demands that you let people go. Don't think of investing there. Not only home, but also think of where you will invest. In what are you going to invest? This one we need to discuss very clearly. We should now move away. We should rethink. Let me repeat this one. At home, we need to vigorously embark on strategic investments that take advantage of the many opportunities. Because here there are many opportunities. That's why India and the region comes to get more by this. So you come to them when you get this money. Look at these opportunities, but those opportunities which create a multiplier effect. We need to receive the praise of only investing in short-term projects. And when asibye ennyumba ekyomye efaanana ey'omutanda. What effect? We need to receive the praise of only investing in short-term show projects, but rather start tapping into those great ideal potentials that need to be explored and developed. I can assure you, sky is in agriculture, in manufacturing and processing, in the services, name it. So when there is money, don't think of shipping home a flat car. Think of some small appropriate factory that will tap into certain things somewhere in India, somewhere in which you see the things you see which are being manufactured. Bring and you will help us wake up the people here. When they get money, the next idea is many ways. So in my way, you are going to help us. Muchamu ikisema tumatangeri embaga tibakole embaga ya billions babera abantu bana embaga negwa. Oh, now the biggest shows on our TVs now is splash. This is going to keep us behind. 4 people you want to finish. And the bad thing, but let me tell you what is happening when you are away. After they have gone through that,
comfortable you.
You know? You've spent a lot.
Nange bandabye omukolo gwayumi. But meanwhile, we are not developing. We don't really these things you in diaspora should help us. Come and tell our youth. Let's wait you. So this was my passionate appeal on the issue of investing back. Don't bring us the latest cars and bring us the latest factory machines. And mayor, that's the message. Tell these people, each of you, go for the factory. Imagine, you are here about 50. Each of you, if you have got a small factory, you leave behind 50 factories. That's the difference in our economy.
Ladies and gentlemen, our dear viewers, your host once again is Yusuf Musoke, and I'm reporting today about the Uganda Diaspora Patriotic Assembly Convention held in Uganda at Hotel Africana on the 20th of December 2013. It was a great success. A lot of our members went to Uganda, and it was really nice. And something very, very important happened, that the team was able to meet His Excellency, the President of Uganda, on the 17th, before our actual convention. It was a really nice time. We had spent some time wanting to meet him and deliver to him a message from the Ugandans in the diaspora about our commitment to developing Uganda and about our readiness to supporting Uganda in efforts geared towards investments and alleviating the problem of unemployment. So on the 17th, at a place in Mukono called Intunda, we met His Excellency. I led the team on the day with the Vice Chairman and the rest of the team in a big congregation. We were ones who traveled the farthest, and for that reason we were given the best opportunity to meet His Excellency, and one-on-one he shook our hands and appreciated our efforts. But from that day when we left Uganda, and as we followed on to our conference, we knew without a doubt that our commitment to lift Uganda to the next level is no longer an illusion, but rather a serious commitment, for we had clearly established before we left here that we were going to launch our organization in Uganda, and no doubt we did. And as we met the president, we made that very clear that we were there because we meant business. So I thank the team which went to Uganda, and I thank all those who attended our conference at Hotel Africana. So to get to the details of Hotel Africana today, with me in the studios is a very special guest, Madame Charity Bisagavu. Welcome to the studios.
Thank you very much. Yeah, number one, I am so proud of you guys.
Thank you.
So proud of you, and I salute you all for the work you've done. You've done a good job. Uganda Diaspora Patriotic Assembly is not even a year old, and you've managed to arrange a conference, and you managed to take such a big team to Uganda, and introduce yourselves, which is very good.
Thank you. If we get to the details now, you've had a preview of the conference itself on tape. What do you think of the fact that members went, one, and two, about the fact that Mr. Mutabazi, who was one of us in the diaspora, actually went back to Uganda, won an election at the district level to become the LC5 chairman, and you definitely had him present on the day? How did that make you feel, and what does that make you want to tell the Ugandans in the diaspora, therefore?
Yeah, I am so proud of you again. And this is what the Ugandans in the diaspora need to be looking at. They need to be listening to this. Mr. Mutabazi left. You need boldness. You need determination to leave your comfort zone in the UK and go home and start. You need to start from somewhere. And he's one of those examples we need to be looking at, and he's doing a very, very good job. I was in Uganda in September. I saw him on TV. In Rengo, he was dismantling people's houses, with a stick, walking around. Is really good. He's doing a very good job. And he's also a friend of mine, actually, I must say that. So he's doing a very good job. And these are the kind of people we need to be looking at. This is the Uganda Diaspora Patriotic Assembly. This is the group. This is the team we need to be on to be able to go ahead.
Thank you very much. And obviously, you heard as well Lieutenant Colonel Masco make his presentation, which he did on behalf of the President and Honorable Chibule, who had been assigned other duties and for that reason unable to attend. How did you find his presentation, and what was your pick on what he said on the day?
Yes, my pick, I listened to all of them, and definitely for Lieutenant Masiko to be there, it means the President has endorsed UDPA.
Thank you.
Meaning we are on the right track, UPDA is on the right track, and we're doing the right things. And if it hadn't been, he wouldn't be there. But of course, he's encouraging investments into Uganda, which even the President, His Excellency Yoweri Museveni, is doing. He's been here before to promote tourism himself. Personally, he came here a year or so, to do that himself. So we are on the right track. I'm so proud of that.
Thank you. In our conversations, you remember I told you that people come. Obviously, we are happy that people came. But then some other people were saying, we are attending a conference, we expect some allowances on top of having very nice meals. What would be your comment or your word to them who want to actually start harvesting before they actually even do the sowing? How does that really rhyme for you? People who are being prepared to actually participate in the actual investments, wanting to say we need some form of allowances before we are even told. How does that resonate for you?
Exactly. That is also one of the reasons why we haven't been able to move forward. As previously, the different organizations, they don't manage because they don't clearly explain what that is. You have to sacrifice to be able to be successful. There are so many sacrifices you need to make. And if you thought any business, if you planned any business, you've got to put in money first before you get the outcome. So we need to be approaching on that level. Those people expect to harvest before they sow. Even the Bible says it. First sow and then you reap.
Yeah, because that really brings me to the real essence of the program as being master key. How can you actually get the master key? How can you be able to go to the next level if you are not with the discipline to learn? Say, for example, the door is locked. If you are not going to learn how the door is opened, how then do you say, me, I want it opened anyway? Because for me, that seems to be now the mentality of people back home and maybe even people in the diaspora. For me, actually, it's making me feel like we could be having a bigger problem with the actual community than even the government. I don't know. How do you find that yourself?
Yeah, it is our responsibility. Of course, people are different. Every individual is different. And why we've come together, one of the things I am going to do is to bring this to the people. They need to change their mindset. They need to change their mindset. They need to approach things differently.
Are you trying to say, therefore, that it's in the mindset where the key hasn't opened properly?
Correct. It is the mindset. Some of them, they don't know. They need encouragement. They need training. So that's what I am going to be doing that too.
Because honestly, it starts to pain me, therefore, when you start to see that opportunities are opening up. Because literally in Uganda now, we can basically open up whichever government office to serve our people.
Correct.
Literally any department, we've got a mandate to collaborate with them, to negotiate with them for the benefit of our people. But if our people lack then the discipline to say, listen, because we listen to them. That's why we say this is their platform. Correct. We want that collaboration between the community and ourselves and the government. But both parties should be able to really work together. So if the government is listening and our people are actually somehow refusing, I'm not laying blame on our diaspora community when I say this, but I'm telling them in a very humble way that please let's be able to work together in a way that helps the government look at us favorably. Because what's happening actually, when these people were saying we need allowances, then my mind was saying, if you need allowances, what are our members going to say, therefore, who even bought their tickets to come here and contributed for the function? Would you please say what to our community here and our community back home, because they'll be watching this on YouTube and television?
Correct. That is, again, it goes back to the mindset, because that's what they are used to getting without putting anything. Most people want things done for them. They don't want to commit. So we need to be telling them, you need to be able to think and do something before you expect anything. It is our responsibility. They have never, some of them don't get a chance even to listen to what we are saying now. We didn't have this forum before. I am so glad that we have our own studios now. So
thank you.
We didn't have such previously. So people listen to different people. They read newspapers. They don't know what it is actually, what is going on the ground. So this is why we're here to bring it to them. Yeah, I would say.
Madam Charity, this being master key again, because for me, having gone to Uganda, the real essence is for us to digest what we found in Uganda, what was on the ground, because only then can we be able to devise a better way of approaching issues when we go to Uganda.
Correct.
It brings me therefore to another point. We had a chance to liaise with the Minister of Information through the personal assistant to the Minister of Information, and actually liaised as well with the media center. So they assigned us people to come and cover the function. People came, different media houses, even those who are non-invited. But what bothers me then, though I've had to be very, very diplomatic in this, and even this is not an accusation to them in any way, but I'm trying to create an awareness that what is our responsibility as people in the media. How do you explain that somebody actually came to the function, covered the function, and for some strange reason reported back to their bosses, and the stories never came out? Can you really tell me that people who flew from here to go and create an awareness back home and do some form of investments are not worthy news for our nation? Is that really acceptable?
I would not accept that myself, and I don't think that was right. We have a lot of improvement to make. I wouldn't be able to say anything about that because I don't know what went wrong there. I wouldn't know. There must be a reason somewhere that needs to be followed up and find out what happened. But we have a lot to improve. There is a lot of improvement that we've improved a lot, but we need to improve more. There are departments that still need a lot of work.
Actually saying that, for me, therefore, that brings me to my real serious point. That we in the diaspora, this attitude and habit of complaining should really be put to the dustbin. That brings me to my point. If we as a diaspora believe that we can do things better, then the habit of complaining and saying they're not doing this, doing the other, we should stand up and show how things should be done. Say, for example, if the media houses came and disappointed, apart from one whom I actually rang their bosses, the investigator, I'm not saying I support whatever they are doing, I don't know what they are doing, but what I support is the fact that they came, covered the function, and put it online the very next day. And the report I remember very well is Mr. Galiwango. And for that reason, as chairman of Uganda's Patriotic Assembly, we'll endeavor to look down for him and show him that we really appreciate. And as for Stanley Ndaula, the boss for the investigator, I rang him and expressed my appreciation. But what I'm driving to is the diaspora community need to get to a level where we can have a media line that runs things in a way that we expect. If it's for purposes of saying the government, here you are failing, we should be able to freely point that out. And where we feel the government has done a good job, we should also have the discipline to say, government, well done on this, we need more on the other.
Correct.
What's your take on that, madam?
I really feel that is one of the things I have been fighting, and I'll continue fighting. I do not believe in blame culture. I believe in learning from mistakes. We've made mistakes previously. So many things have gone wrong. But what have we done about it? What have we learnt about it? What have we learned from it? And what do we intend to do? Now, I speak to so many Ugandans in this country, in the UK, mainly because I live here. I go to other countries also in the diaspora. And the main thing everybody says, oh, they are not doing anything. Oh, the government is not doing anything. The government is not doing this. The president, Museveni is supposed, I'll say the way I hear it. Oh, Museveni is doing this. Museveni is doing this. He's not doing this. And what I normally ask them, I'm like, so what have you done about it? Have you suggested, or have you thought, have you brought forward a proposal to say, you know what, this is supposed to be like this, better than this? Or you look for those gaps and fill them. You know that, for example, in the media, we've got a gap there. You are in the
Very
diaspora.
big one.
You've got the education. You've got the facilities. What are you doing there? Those are the gaps we need to be filling.
That brings me to the other thing, Madam Charity. I was listening to the president who was talking to the African investors, and he was saying Uganda now, with all the bountiness of the natural weather, people can literally grow anything. Anything can be grown and is grown in Uganda. And then he said what they need in Uganda now is not somebody to come and grow either more potatoes or bananas. What they need is agro processing and marketing for these products.
Correct.
How do you think we should really embark on this? What do you think should be our best strategy as we source people to help in the agro processing and the actual marketing of this produce which are already in Uganda?
Yeah, that is a big thing, and that is the way forward for Uganda. Farming is the way forward. Now, of course, we will continue growing the potatoes, the bananas to feed our people, to feed the neighboring country, to feed the region, whereby I would also emphasize on this. The region feeds, we feed the region. Uganda feeds the region. We shall have to continue doing that. Now, you talked about
The agro processing,
the agro-processing,
which he emphasized.
Exactly. I am so excited because about 2 weeks ago, I was approached by a group of investors here, and they asked me for sesame seeds. Mm-hmm. They're interested in buying as much as sesame seeds as possible. Now they asked me, do you grow sesame seeds in Uganda? I said, definitely we do. I went on the ground, worked out, found out that actually this month, December, this is January, that was just before Christmas, they had just harvested simsim. I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I'm so excited about, it is one of the products on the market in the whole world.
High demand.
Everybody is looking for it. Is
we have a
high
lot of
demand.
it.
We've got a lot of it.
I'm glad. So they were talking about vanilla, now we've got a simsim to go with it.
Exactly. There is simsim. There are so many things. There are so many things. And
one other thing now, before you actually forget it, mm-hmm. You told me previously in our private conversations that medical care or health facilities are one of your passionate areas.
it is.
I was online today and I was checking. I saw really disturbing images of hospitals in Lila. People on the ground, the pictures would portray that they are not getting any form of medical attention, or if it is, very, very minimal. Mm-hmm. So how are you working on that program where you say there are equipments here and we are trying to move them home? Have you tried to establish any contact with the Ministry of Health, or how far have you gone?
Yeah, I would, again, as I said, I don't like really blame culture, blaming people and all that. I would think it is what is happening in the area, because every time I go to Uganda, I look around, because I speak to so many people here and they're criticizing this, criticizing that. So what I do when I go back, I look around at those things they have told me that they're not working. So I come back to tell them that actually this is the situation, this is what is happening. Now, on the hospital side, there is a lot to do. I would have to investigate that more. I'm not really You know, I haven't worked with the Minister of Health, but I've visited most of health centers up country, and most of them are working.
Yes.
But having said that, we haven't reached to the scratch of it. And there are possibilities. There are so many possibilities. We can improve. We still have to improve. I understand. But that one again, we need to go to the ground and find out why things are not working.
In short, you are saying we should get actively involved in putting things right.
Correct.
And actually, to take a word from Afande Masko's speech, he said he wonders why we still complain about unemployment when Uganda has got so many problems. So actually, instead of looking at it as an ordinary problem, as in having no medical care, it could be turned around so there's an opportunity to invest in the medical care. So that therefore is a call to the Ugandans in the diaspora that this is an area of investment for you and you could make some really good money out of it.
That's it. So we need to open up our minds. We need to see further. We need to be looking beyond. We have to look beyond. We do not have to keep depending, or the government has to be doing.
I therefore don't know how you
take
find it yourself.
responsibility.
I don't know how you find it yourself, but for me it looks like Ugandans have sort of disconnected themselves from what's happening on the ground. Because if these are Ugandan problems, why do we rely on somebody else to sort them for us? If, for example, we say the government has a high enough stake in getting things done, why can't we then be able to put the government to task by giving it alternatives about how things should be done better?
Exactly. That is the thing, because we like speaking in the background. We complain a lot and we do not take anything forward, which again we need to change this way of thinking.
Are you therefore saying that UDPA is jumping from complaining from the background to saying, okay, let's discuss at the forefront?
Correct.
I'm glad to hear that.
The way we need to be going to. That we have to take responsibility. If anything goes wrong in our country, it is our responsibility. Instead of sitting back and talk about it and you do nothing about it, we need to be doing something. We need to be helping. We need to support. We have the expertise. Why can't we do it? Why do we sit back and complain? We need to stop complaining and act. Yeah.
Thanks very much for this wonderful conversation. As you know, me and you could go on for whenever, as far as Uganda is concerned.
Yes.
But our viewers, that was our nice conversation with Madam Charity Bisagavu. We continue to have such private conversations on regular basis, and we continue to have them even with the government, and we continue to dialogue with you people in the community. Recently, we've been very, very close touch with the Ugandan High Commission here in the UK, and I must say it's one of the finest operation embassies in the whole world for the Ugandans. And I said that to His Excellency, I said that to the Ugandan ministers and his Afande Masko as well. Really well done. Thumbs up to Ugandan High Commission London. You are doing a terrific job. We love you, we support you, and we stand with you. Back to the Ugandan community. The habit of complaining will not help us. We need to take responsibility. At Uganda Diaspora Patriotic Assembly, we are saying, whoever is in charge, we thank you and we pray for you to be in leadership, but we'll continue to knock your doors to make sure that the finest, the very best for Ugandans is delivered on a regular basis. We thank you, and may God guide our steps as we go forward for God and our country. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much.